This is Suspenders Unbuttoned, a podcast where friends talk with friends about TV, movies, and books.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome musician Dane Louis.
Thanks for having me, guys. How's it going?
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're excited. We're excited to hear about your music. Can you tell us a little bit about your style of music?
Yeah, I'm originally from a town called Sioux City, Iowa, and I moved to Nashville here last April. And we've kind of been working. We got in the studio right away, got a record, kind of went through a hell of a year of, back and forth with getting rid of some management and getting new management and, all the lovely things that everybody learns when they move to Nashville. And we finally got a good team behind us and a good group with us. And so we're releasing some singles off this new EP that we got coming out now. And I've been playing music for about 10 years, doing it full time for about 4 or 5 now. So it's been good. Been enjoying every bit of it so far.
So, Julie, should we get the Iowa business out of the way first?
He's out of Iowa. So, so you're in Sioux City. I'm not in Iowa, but I'm in Minnesota. So,
right on.
Yeah. So,
right next door.
Looking at your tour schedule, I see you'll be in Rosemount this summer.
Yep, I will be. Yep.
So I was like, hey, that's the south side of the Twin Cities. So we sometimes have a gal that helps us out, and she lives in Rosemount. So we're like, we need to go to the concert.
There you go. Absolutely. We got some more dates to announce yet this summer too, but we just got a couple on the board right now. We're kind of putting some finishing touches on a lot of them this summer. So, but yeah, no, we're excited to get up to Minnesota and say hi to all our friends up there. So.
Right. But you're working out in Nashville now, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome.
It's been fun.
So tell us a little bit about your new single coming out called Fire. Or is it already out?
It came out last Friday, I think. It's out. I don't know when it came out, but
it's out.
It's out. That's all that matters, I guess. No, it's kind of a muscle country Aldine kind of song. There's not a whole lot of depth to it. It's basically a song about a party, and it's country rock song, but it's been a lot of fun. We've had this song around for a couple of years. We did a independent album a couple of years back and released a version of it, and it actually had some good traction back then. Well, we decided to recut it when we got to Nashville. We got an awesome session guitarist in on it as well, named Jeff King, who plays for Reba McEntire, and he records for Brooks and Dunn and Garth Brooks and a bunch of other folks. And but Jeff came in and threw this riff on it that we were really kind of excited about, and it kind of changed the song around a lot, and we kind of got it a fully loaded version now instead of the version we had before. So we're excited to unveil it to everybody and kind of get back into releasing singles. It had been about 2 years since we released Whiskey Wears Off, and we're well overdue to put some new material out for everybody. But that's kind of the plan of this year, is to keep releasing new material. So
all right, I was going to say, is there more coming?
Oh yeah, well, there's at least 5 within the next 6 months. So that's just kind of as far as I can shout out right now. Our next single will be coming out around St. Patrick's Day. It's a song called Bad Guy. And so we got the song done. Everything's good like that. We're actually shooting the video Friday, and then it's kind of a quick turnaround once you get moving on stuff, but it's the getting moving that's the pain some days.
Right. Love that. Love that you added in another studio guitarist so I actually love I'm a child of the 80s, so I love a good driving rock guitar. So first thing I was like, I love this. This is
all
great.
Right, cool. Thank you very much.
Good.
I appreciate it.
You love hearing that driving sound that's coming back. Actually, you're hearing the guitars are coming back or moving a little bit away from the right?
Yeah, thank God.
That's a fun sound to hear live too. So I'm kind of excited to find you live when you make your way up this way too.
Absolutely. No, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So your song that's coming out in around St. Patrick's Day, is that gonna have a continue on with that? Yeah. So that's our MO, man. That's everything we do. It's country lyric guitar, man. Just big guitars, big drums, that whole thing. And I'm glad it's becoming the style again. I think we're a little overdue for it. So right. Full set of drums. I'm there. Right.
Heck yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. So you already have another song that's out already. You said it's been out a couple of years. What was that?
Yeah, it's a song called Whiskey Wears Off. We basically just kind of bootlegged it. My bass player is a producer an engineer, just kind of runs his own little small studio. It's really good for making demos and stuff like that. And we decided to put out a version of that we could float with at the time, and we're really proud of that too. Just as far as just us doing it, it'll probably get a facelift here in a year or two or something like that when we get a little more situated. But for right now, it's been fun. It's been a crowd favorite as every show we've played. So we enjoy having that one out as in addition to the new ones that are going to be getting released as well. So, but that was a fun song as well to do.
Yeah, no, that's a good song. I like that. That is a fun song. I'm like, oh, I bet it is a crowd favorite when you play it or playing that live. And as funny as this is going to sound, when I started listening to it, the person it made me think of is that girl right there, because that girl has a little whiskey history.
So, I could use one right now, actually.
Everyone's got a little secret life, right? No, but I could see how that's a crowd favorite. I was like, oh no, he's got to talk about this other song. And,
love it.
Yeah, no, that would be a fun song to give a little remake to. Yeah, because I bet that one's fun to play live. Besides,
so. Everyone else enjoying it is why we enjoy it so much. That's kind of, it's been a song that we've had for quite a few years, like I said. But honestly, like anybody that's not heard us before or hasn't heard any of our material before, they usually know it by the third chorus, and that's kind of the best thing you can ask for. So, and everyone likes getting drunk. It seems like at our shows anyway. That's kind of our demographic. So
you're watching a band. It's evening. That's you know what everyone's there for a good time, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
What's your favorite thing, Julie? Right?
Right. Like,
sitting, watching live music.
Yeah, we love that. So,
very cool.
So super fun.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the process of, songwriting and putting out the song, and what's that process has been like. And it seems like it's changed since you moved to Nashville. So.
Yeah, it's actually actively changing now. Even so, I'm very it's not an ego thing as much as just a pride thing that I just enjoy writing songs by myself more. So I typically don't do co-writes, and that was one of the biggest changes when I came to Nashville, because everybody co-writes and you write with everybody, you meet new people, and you guys get to write together. Well, I finally found some people that I enjoy writing with as well. All these songs that are going to be coming out were written by me, and that was just me by myself. But some of the new stuff that I'm working on, I'm actually, like today, as I got home at like, we were supposed to go live at 3:28 before I fought the computer for 10 minutes. But I got home right before the podcast was supposed to kick off. And I just got back from a write down in Columbia, Tennessee. It's an hour away or so, with a songwriter named Jason Matthews. He wrote Must Be Doing Something Right for Billy Currington and a bunch of other songs. He's a really great songwriter. Also writing with a guy named Anthony Smith, who did basically all of Montgomery Gentry's catalog, in addition to Cowboys Like Us and Run for George Strait. And so it's fun to write with these other writers that you've heard their music for years, and kind of, learn how to write a song in a new way, in a new light. It's been really refreshing to, because I mean, it can even, like I said, I love writing by myself, but you kind of wind up getting cyclical after a while if you're not careful. So, so that part, getting the song written is obviously my favorite and the most important part.
Right.
After that, you take it and go to the studio and, pick a studio wisely. It could be either the best experience or the worst experience of your life. Bands break up in the studio. So, but not ours, luckily. But no, it's a very stressful thing, but it makes you so much tighter afterwards too. And then once you get done, get your track back, there's some mastering that goes into it. There's some, and then you prep for distribution, and, it's a lot of fun. I have a great team for that, at Burning Ground Entertainment. They're amazing at getting us, in the right places, in front of the right eyes, and in the right ears as well. So, most all of a song is marketing and, or the success of it. So, and like everything in life, I suppose, but, it's kind of a hell of an experience, and you learn how to do it in a lot of new ways as time goes on too. So,
right. I kind of love hearing about the transition into writing with other people.
Yeah.
See how that might springboard you. Like they say something, and then you're like, wait, what about this too?
Yep. That's exactly how it goes. And sometimes it's hard. The thing I like about both Anthony and Jason, who I've been writing with recently, is the first time we ever got together for a song, right? A lot of times, especially a lot of the younger writers in Nashville, you kind of just hop in a room and you go, and the goal is to get something, and that while that's good, while that's great, it can still kind of be detrimental to the creation of a song, because you might glance over lyrics that you should have used, or glance over, different melodies if you would have taken the time on it. Well, both the first writes that I had with Anthony and Jason, we just sat there and talked and just got to know each other, and Jason said it best. He goes, how am I supposed to trust you, or how are you supposed to trust me to throw out, new ideas if we don't even know who each other are? And that's kind of the scary thing about going into a write. Like, I don't know this dude.
Right.
So, but once you get to know people, then they become friends. And then you once you hit your stride, it's really easy to bounce off of one another. It's a really cool experience for sure.
When you're writing, are you thinking of the lyrics like first, or the music first, or do they come to you at the same time?
It is kind of the same time. Really, recently too, it's been more the story and how to portray the story correctly. You have lyrics that exemplify what story you're trying to portray. Because I used to just write whatever I wanted to write, and then or you can go either way. I was watching an interview with John Fogerty, and he was saying he needs a guitar line to write lyrics, and then I'll have songs I just write the lyrics, and then I'll kind of hear it in my head, or vice versa, or I'll grab a guitar line and then try to put lyrics into it. But now, or most recently, I've been trying to think of what I want the audience to perceive, or what I want the fans to perceive, and how can I best deliver that? And that's kind of a different approach that I'd never taken before, but it's kind of the most important one, because I'm going to understand it. Of course, I wrote it, but how can I convey it best to the audience? And, and there's some ones that they don't need to get, or that they might have double meanings and stuff like that. Like, no one knows what Hotel California means, and that's by design. But for the most part,
there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can all sing it, right?
And we can all sing it.
Exactly. So.
Right. Yeah, and we know you can never leave. Right. I mean, like, now that you say that, I'm like, actually, it's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It's great. I love it more because then it lives on a lot longer.
There's no end to it. Like, it doesn't mean one thing. It's not stagnant.
Right. It's like 20 hours long. There's no end to that song.
Also, there are like 5,000 lyrics to that song.
Yeah.
That is true. I may have that album sitting like right over here.
I was gonna say, I see the albums in the background: Prince, Pat, and Journey. Heck yeah.
And Journey. And I actually think literally, this is the top one on the pile.
That's great.
You can never leave.
Yeah, you can that kind of. Yep. Did you find all the ghosts on there? There's all the ghosts on the back of the album cover.
On the back of the album. So this is such a good album. It's
it's great.
There's so much about it that's just amazing.
Yep.
This is one thing when this became not a thing, it's like holding an album. But
and then also I remember talking to people, and back then that was the social media, lyrics and people became super crazy rock stars because there was a mythology. Yeah, there was a mythology behind it. No one knew anything from the artist's life other than what was in that album cover. Right. So that was and now they know you ate, Jimmy John's today on, which is why I hate social media.
I walked my dog.
Yeah, it's like I hate it, but I get why.
No, but it's good. I actually like both ends of it. Both ends, because I love this type of engagement. Like, we can be like, "Oh, come on," and we can talk to you,
right?
And then we can put out a link, and people can watch it whenever they want,
right?
And I do kind of love that. You can see that, but I also was the kid holding the album that knew all the lyrics too. So, and the art, you would just like look at the art, and then people would be like, "Did you notice?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, I had albums, but mostly I had cassettes, so there wasn't much art. It was just like
the MIDI.
Trying to read the little lyrics.
Yeah.
I maybe have way too many of those downstairs too. That's a whole different. Then we went through the
8 tracks that get.
Oh no, that's lost. Yeah. I kind of didn't do 8 tracks. My husband's older than me. He had older sisters too.
My folks did 8 tracks, and they're like, "Oh yeah, getting 8 tracks eaten in the whatever. I never had to deal with it.
I was deep into the mixtapes. I'm going to be honest.
Like, there you go.
Of course. Yeah.
My brother made a great mixtape.
Awesome.
Right? But yeah, and so also there was just a lot of screaming guitars too. That just like I'm like, wait, this is awesome. I'm texting Sarah, love his music. We're going.
Awesome.
I know. I wish I lived in Minnesota.
Yeah, come visit us. Come visit us. Catherine and I will go.
Yeah. If you come to the East Coast, maybe.
What part?
I'm in Rhode Island.
Okay, right on. Yep.
We're
working with some folks on getting up kind of that way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, nobody ever comes here, but usually it's Massachusetts or Connecticut.
There you go.
Yeah. See, there you go.
There's a great venue. It's like an open air one.
Okay.
Great Woods, I think, is the old name. I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, Xfinity Center.
Okay.
It's really fun, and they have a lot of
nice
big country music.
Right.
But anyway,
you've opened for a lot of great artists. How was that when you first started doing that? Tell us a little bit about that.
I always tell everybody it's half and half. They're either the greatest people you met in the world or they're very much not. And it's kind of a funny thing. I don't know. My dad always said it was better to be silent and thoughtful than open your mouth and remove all doubt. So I don't like to gossip about it too much. But but I always tell everybody who the great people were.
Yes.
And I mean, Brantley Gilbert was the nicest guy we've ever played with, hands down. Ashton McBride is absolute sweetheart. She was super, super great to us. We're good friends with Co Wetzel and his camp. There's a bunch of other folks that we played with. That I mean, the list is actually luckily pretty long. That of people I can't think all of them at once, which is a good problem to have. But it's been a blessing to be able to learn and see how. On one hand, it can be humbling to see like, wow, like look at these guys, but then also at the same time, it's encouraging because it's like they're just people, not everybody's just another person. So it's encouraging to be able to just be on the same level or be in the same capacity as those folks that have done so well in their careers. So it's our favorite shows all the time. I mean, it's also the easiest crowds because they just want to cheer anyways, so they're not hard to impress. But no,
they're ready. They're ready.
It's a great opportunity for exposure for your music and your band, and often in a similar style or people that will like your style. So I always think that opportunity for up and coming bands and singers is it's often some of my favorite things about going to a concert is, if you go see this guy, you might have gotten to see Sheena E. You know?
Exactly.
Right. So, which was common in the Twin Cities here, right? Because he used to play at First Avenue all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so you get, Morris in the Time too, or
right.
And so it's the same with any style of music. It's those who's opening for them is often my favorite part of the whole concert, right? Because you're like, oh, who are they? And where are they going?
You get a new favorite, and that's the best. That's always been my favorite too. I remember me and my mom would go to concerts all the time, and we were just always excited for the opening band. You never know what you're gonna get, and it was the best. It's the best kind of thing. Sometimes they suck, and that's okay. And because then you still got your band afterwards. But I've had plenty of. My mom always calls it the Bad Company incidents because she went to Bad Company after Paul Rogers left, and they were on a tour. They were all drunk as hell. But Damn Yankees was opening, and they had just come out. So it was Ted Nugent, and, God from Styx. What's his name? I can't remember off right now, but anyways, it's the superstar band that's made up of everybody, and she's like, Damn Yankees was amazing and Bad Company sucked, so she calls it a Bad Company incident every time that.
So who else was in Damn Yankees?
It was Tommy Shaw
from Styx.
Yep.
I think maybe we can go here and grab a Styx album.
Yeah, there you go. Tommy Shaw, Ted Nugent, the drummer for Night Ranger, I think, or bass player, Night Ranger, one of the two. And it was. But anyways, that's
so she went thinking one thing and walked away going,
yeah, Damn Yankees is awesome. So that was that's kind of how I like to look at it too. It's like, you get the chance to, and even if the headliner does a great job too. I mean, Rustin Kelly was one of my favorite artists, has become one of my favorite artists, and he was opening for Brothers Osborne. I'd never heard of him before, and when I went to listen to his music at first, I wasn't really excited about anything that I'd listened to just briefly on iTunes or Apple Music on the way to the concert, and then I was just blown away by the show, and then I downloaded everything and listened to it on repeat, and so it's fun too on both ends to be the guy and then also to still go to shows and catch the opening acts.
Right. I also think streaming, people can just like quickly move into your music now. You're not waiting to go get an album like for it to release. It's like, and now I'm listening. I just heard that guy, loved it. Now it's like on my list, right?
Right.
Exactly. Yep. Common rotation then. Yeah, it's cool. And everybody, it seems like, listens to music on their device or on some streaming service now anyways. So people want to listen to what they want to listen to. If you fit into that, then that's great. That's perfect.
I think that gives so much opportunity for musicians. I actually am a big fan of it. It gives a lot more variety in the streaming services. We're not just limited. I think about when I was a kid, and man, if you weren't on the rock station or the top 40 station, I didn't get to hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And now I can pick who I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so, and it makes it, and it's double-edged sword. There's a lot more artists out there because of it. But if you can break through that, not only are you breaking past the top 40 folks, but you're breaking past all the other selections, then you're really doing something right. So
right. So everybody download Dane's music and break past. So what? Where can we find your music?
Basically anywhere that you can stream music. I think Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play. Kind of all the big iHeart, Pandora, stuff like that. Anything. I don't know if a lot of them are even around or people still use them all the time now, but I know those big four for sure. And we're looking to get a physical copy of this new EP that I think we're just calling it the Bad Guy EP. And that'll be coming out in June-ish, maybe. And so I let the team worry about that. They tell me like 10 times and I'll never remember it anymore. But then we'll have physical copies out on a website, DaneLouisOfficial.com. But otherwise, you can find any other way that we can stream or anything else we're doing on there as well.
Perfect. So you're in Nashville, and we know you have a tour coming up, but are you playing live music in Nashville? Like
a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. I have a couple favorite venues that I like to stop into, play at, or go listen to music at. There's a venue in actually Leapers Fork, Tennessee. It's about an hour south of Nashville, called Fox and Lock. That's like my absolute favorite place. It's a super intimate, amazing venue. I mean, and seems like everybody kind of lives down in that area. I mean, we watched Vince Neil pull out in his Ferrari, drunk as hell, a couple weeks ago. Sure. And I mean, and Jason Isbell and Carrie Underwood would swing in. And I mean, so everybody kind of stops in down that way because they live around there to get out of town. But so I love Fox and Lock. We played at, Doghouse. We played on Broadway during CMA Fest. Broadway is awesome until you live here. And it's a logistical nightmare to go play on, but it can be a lot of fun too. So we kind of sparingly play down there as much as possible. We kind of just try to pace ourselves with that. But yeah, we play around in Nashville a little bit. It's usually last minute if we play anywhere in Nashville. We kind of been writing, recording, and kind of getting ready for getting out a little bit this summer. So, but yeah, playing in Nashville is a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, it's a different. It's kind of sitting with the big dogs. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a zoo. It's Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas.
Yeah,
that's fun. How many tour dates are you hoping to get on your tour? You have a handful more than that already on your.
Yeah, we were between a rock and a hard place for a minute on whether to get a booking agent and have them handle it or try to book it independently. If we book it independently, chances are we won't hit any new places, and that was kind of the opposite thing when we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of dates in the Midwest, like we usually would be around, but so we're kind of trying to work with a couple different agents right now, and I got some other friends that are touring bands of pretty good note that I was trying to kind of talking with them about possibly hopping on a line of shows. And so we'll see what kind of kicks up in the next month or so, but we should have, I'm hoping to have about 30 to 40 dates at least this summer.
Okay, that's a lot.
I mean, get 3 a week in. The summer season for music kind of is like April to September. So hopefully we can get that many. That'd be fun. So at least shoot for that, and then if we get 20 or so, then that'd be good. So
perfect.
And then you have a website, right, where we can see the dates, right?
Yep. So, Dane like the dog, Louis like St. Louis official.com. So
yeah, Perfect. Yeah, and the dates are up there, and you can get notifications about dates or when they're coming. I was checking that out, so that's really cool. So, so just a little background on you. So, what kind of music inspires you or influenced you?
Yeah, I'm total classic rock nut. Like I didn't really listen to country a whole lot when I was growing up. I didn't really like personally where rock had been for creative side. Like, I mean, it's fine to listen to. I like it at the gym and stuff like that. But for as far as my creating, I was really into Bob Seger and Mellencamp and Tom Petty and all that stuff. Tom Petty's probably the biggest for me. So I got inspired a lot by that type of stuff. And that was kind of more what country was becoming with Eric Church and Jason Aldean and guys like that. They were doing kind of the rock country stuff with really good songwriting. That was what kind of genre it was. So that's why we got into country music. So that's been a lot of what inspires us. But recently too, I've kind of started digging into a lot of the older country stuff too, because I think if I'm gonna be under the umbrella of country, you got to know where a lot of stuff came from. So getting into guys like Waylon Jennings and even going deeper into George Jones, Vern Gosdin, guys like, I mean, kind of diving a lot more below the surface than just what's, on the face value of country music these days. So.
Yeah, no, I love that comparison because like kind of that classic rock with those guys, exactly like you said, Seeger, Mellencamp, those guys, and then that cross to like that driving country song you get now, like that would have been all they'd all been together.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah. No. So
Leonard Skinner, and I mean they would have been country,
They would have been yeah. Leonard Skinner. That was that was they were huge, and then there was an airplane crash.
Oh yeah.
No, it's like these are things that country and rock music are
absolutely noted
made
for.
from, right? These types of things. But no, that sound was huge, and you're right. That would have they would all be in a group now instead of be called something separate. And there's more storytelling to those songs.
That's what I enjoy too. That's the biggest thing. I always like a good story or a good aha with the song. That's kind of the biggest thing, and that's what country's noted for. So.
Right. Love that. Right.
Okay, so tell us, as we wrap things up, we'll just do a little quick favorite game with you. So you can just tell us, what is your favorite movie? Why does
favorite movie
now?
It always happens as soon as I'm doing something, but when I'm sitting around all day, it doesn't matter. I never get a call.
I thought my phone was off too. Anyway, favorite movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm a Tarantino nut. I love that stuff.
Right, John Travolta.
Oh
yeah, that movie is
Marvin. I love that stuff.
Right. Favorite food? You can do healthy and guilty pleasure.
I would say my favorite thing is trying to eat more healthy. I never achieve that at all, ever. Eat like a friggin' raccoon, especially be it like between playing shows on the road and stuff. Gas station burritos is kind of where you land. But I'd probably say steak. It sounds like a cop out, but that's usually like a good ribeye. That's my favorite.
Yes. Delicious.
My kids would agree with you, actually.
Plus, I'm just going to stop for a minute. Plus, anything you can make on a grill or anything down in Iowa. I'm going to throw an Iowa thing down there. My oldest son is down there in Iowa. I'm sorry, you go to those football games at either of those universities, smells so delicious.
It's great. It's great.
It's just so good.
Especially the Iowa State game.
He maybe
everyone
went to Iowa State and is an engineer down there.
Oh yeah, that's the school to go to.
You're like, I'm just gonna sit here in the parking lot because it smells.
Just smell it.
It's delicious.
Bush Light and meats.
Yeah, because the farmers, they bring in their own meat too. It's just like, oh man,
the bomb.
So no, I think a good steak is a really good.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, right. Good answer.
Good answer. Yeah. Okay, when you're not making music, do you have a favorite hobby or activity that?
I have had a lot of hobbies that I enjoy, and then it winds up always kind of rounding about music. But yeah, my guitar player, he races go-karts and stuff like that, and he and I are kind of both into working on working on cars and watching racing and stuff like that. My dad and I were really into drag racing. He used to drag race motorcycles, so probably riding motorcycles, racing, stuff like that is kind of what I'm into. I've hunted before, but I'm not like a big avid hunter like a lot of guys are in country music. So this guy seems like a stable, but I do like target shooting too and stuff like that. So yeah, shooting and racing and stuff like that.
Perfect. Sounds like fun, actually. Do you have a favorite vacation location?
Oh yeah, new one that I never thought I'd have. I always loved the idea of being a country musician because I had a phobia of leaving the country. I went to visit Hawaii with when my buddy lived there, and I got island fever like on day 3, and I wanted to go home. I mean, I loved it; it was beautiful, but it freaked me out. So I was like, well, I could never go to Europe. That would just absolutely blow my mind. But then I had my 2 best friends, Matt and James, that I met when I moved to Nashville, are great, crazy guys that are in totally different worlds than I am, but they just different industries, not music.
Yeah.
And so, but they'd been to Ibiza, Spain, and they're like, dude, you got to check it out. You'll absolutely love it. And I was like, nah, I can't. Well, then I had like the stars align, and Labor Day weekend around there, I didn't have anything. I had everything drop off my schedule. So I went to Ibiza with them, and that was hands down the most like no worries content I've been ever. And I had down to like my flight last minute. They're like, hey, do you want to upgrade to first class for a couple $100? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, so it was the craziest, most spontaneous trip ever. But yeah, Ibiza, Spain probably would be my favorite because it can be whatever you want it to be. Everyone thinks it's like Jersey Shore, like like that the whole time. You can totally just chill on a beach or make it whatever you want to make it. So I like that about it.
Yeah, lots of options. I've been to Spain but never there. Okay, our last one. Do you have a favorite show to binge?
Oh yeah, it changes weekly. But I loved Supernatural. That was one of my favorite ones because there's like 15 seasons to chew on. But that one probably. I watched The Sopranos recently, top to bottom again. So basically any of those like drama or kind of heavy shows, but probably Supernatural is my go-to.
Love that. Yeah. Well, once again, what's the name of your new song?
Fire. It's coming out or came out. Whoops.
Came out.
And then the new one's coming out is Bad Guy here in about a couple months. So
all right. And where can we find you on social media?
Anything. I think Dane Louis Official is pretty much my name on everything. Maybe not Twitter, but I'm not on there hardly ever unless I'm retweeting someone's stuff. But yeah, and then you can find all my social media links through DaneLouisOfficial.com. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, Dane, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. We're going to say goodbye to everybody watching, and then we'll say goodbye off screen. So thank you, everybody.
All right, thanks,
later.